No amount of therapy, tryptamine, or a new vaccine could make my brain think my baby still wants to love me.
What's up, guys? How we doing? Oh, am I bright? I'm very bright. Oh man, this is bad. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm not going to take too much time on this segment, but I just want to thank you guys again, one more time. This is the last stretch that I have until tomorrow it releases. So this is really big for me, and it's really cool, and I can't wait to jump into Gray, because I know a lot of you are excited for it too. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. So Gray took me about 3 years to fully write. It was actually the song that I learned a lot of my production on. So it took a long time for me to actually get something that I really liked about it. I did have a version of it out on a different platform than I have now, which you can probably find on SoundCloud if you want to hear the original, which I mean, it would be pretty cool if you go back and listen to something I wrote 3 years ago and then listen to it rewritten now. I think that'd be really interesting. I think it's a very interesting take. The reason why it took so long for me to finally get it off production was simply because of how much it meant to me. And this was back in a time where I was writing music more so that it could appease the way I feel and help me through tough times, and less so for me to actually get it out and produce it and make it sound really good. However, I was trying to get on the right track and try and take that next step to really start getting stuff out there. And when I was doing that, I started working with other musicians, one of which my friend Morgan, who did the strings in this song. I really hope you check out this video, Morgan. You check out the video, man. I miss you. The meaning of this song is never going to change for me. You know, I rewrote it because of how well it worked with this album, and that fully relates to the emotional meaning behind it. Just to be clear, I did rewrite it completely. So this is a complete rewrite, and this was done within the week. I didn't have this ready to go. No. I rewrote the whole thing and kept some of the patches that we recorded a while ago. We probably recorded those patches in 2019, I'd say. 2019, 2020, something like that. The reason why it sticks out so hard, and the reason why I decided to choose it for this situation, is because the meaning of a gray wall, of how silly it can be. The wall acts as a barrier between the two people that are in an emotional battle in this album. The guy has to deal with the fact that he's losing this wall that he built, when the real fact of the matter is that even if he loses this wall, he doesn't have to lose the person he really loves. However, the way it's written, you'll hear that it kind of just ends. And I'll explain that to you in just a second. I gotta change my battery on the camera, god damn it. Don't be weirded out if I get a little deeper about this song, because of how much it means to me. So just keep that in mind, okay? The first lyrics I decided to choose were actually something I sang right when this situation happened. Not sure if it was caught by anyone, but I was sitting on the couch after hearing some new information that I have never heard before. I sang no amount of therapy, tryptamine, or a new vaccine, thinking that this could be the situation where I can revive this song immediately. So I'd say that this whole album was written behind the idea that I could rewrite Gray, which is why it's the last song. Man, I never thought of it like that. That's super cool. That lyric is mostly in regard to everything that we're told that affects the way we act or affects our emotions. For example, when I say the line tryptamine is a part of serotonin, and serotonin has a heavy effect on our brain and how we act. And knowing that, I wanted to just make it so plain and simple that, okay, listen, nothing that I take or feel or happens in my brain is going to make my brain think any different from the way it feels right now. It's not going to make my brain think that she loves me still. It's just how it is. That also allows me to throw in that new vaccine lyric, which I think is really cool because a lot of people say that apparently it changes your brain. I just decided to throw that in there because I think it'd be really cool. Nothing too crazy behind it. It's also an argument that me and the girl that I wrote this about share consistently. So, there you go. This is a point of me writing this song where I've accepted that it's probably gonna end. Which is why I do some of the things that I decided to do. I'm gonna show you some of those in a second. Is it raining? So I'm not going to talk way too much about the lyrics in the beginning. They're pretty straightforward. I'm basically taking the listener along for a journey. Then the bass kicks in and we start getting some really, really cool lyrics. I just think it's one of my favorite parts. Just because it's so simple and I lay out everything I want to say. Every single thing that I want to say in that first opening part, I get to say, which is fantastic. That's why I love lyrics, man. I can write lyrics so much better than like actually speaking. It's great. The bass is so fun! It's got this old-timey feel. I love glissandos. You will know that in my bass all the time. If you ever hear any glissandos in my music, it's probably in the bass. It's that feel-good kind of like, okay, here we go. Yeah, this is kind of a fun 80s tune. It's supposed to be like an 80s tune. I think having an 80s vibe is really cool, and it keeps that like happiness present that I really want to show in this song. This song is about acceptance, like I've been kind of saying. So having a happy outlook upon what's been accepted, I think, is really beneficial, not just for me, but for the song too. Another thing that kind of invokes that 80s tune is when I come in with these really, really cool pads that I turned up the cutoff on like really, really high, so that I was able to get that like really cool, like choppy 80s feel. After establishing that feel, I decided to take it into a bridge and really try and tear it down a little bit. Back from, kind of bring back in the intro so that we can have a little bit of difference in the song. At this point, I basically sing the hook of my lyrics, which is, someday she said that I'll find who I was. That lyric just kind of ties back into the relationship, saying like, this person changed me for the better and told me to find out what I'm supposed to be. And because of the situation that went down, I found out exactly what it was. That's the point.
And she told me someday I'd find who I was.
And at that lyric, that's also when the really cool bells kick in and get that really cool melody that was present in the very, very, very first original song. Yeah, like I said, go listen to that one too. That one's called Gray Wall, by the way, and I believe I have it reposted on my SoundCloud, so links in the description for that. The other part of this bridge is when I have this huge build that just stops. And I'll explain that at the end of the song. I'm gonna get to it, but it means a lot. So once we get past this cool build, we get into the actual meat and potatoes of the song, where the bass kicks back in, the drums are a lot more full, we have a ton of accompaniments, a ton of stuff that's helping out the melody, a lot of which you've heard before, some of which is new strings and stuff like that. And most of the strings, again, were done by my friend Morgan, who came over about a year or two ago and helped me lay down some of these tracks. It was so great to pull them back out. It just felt so good. I will say though, having this song in production for as long as it did, when I got to this section that sounded so much like the original, I was just kind of like, ugh, this melody again. However, because of the emotional context, it easily let me power through it and continue writing the song. Let's listen to this bop section. Yeah. What I did in this section that's different from the rest of the song, I have the bass that sticks just completely plain and true, but I also have a lead on top of it that opens it up and starts experimenting that same rhythm with more notes. And I think because of that, it's just able to build and keep building as the song goes on. And then the real hit is 4 measures into the chorus, where we have me say, we can erase it all. You just heard me sing it. And that's where it really takes off, and the strings come in and they're much more live and full. It's just a really cool feeling. I also have like high wind chimes in there that's giving that sparkle effect, and it's everything that I want it to be, which is it makes me so happy. And while we're here, we might as well just listen to some of those strings, right? Didn't she nail it? She nailed it. She did so good. Oh man. Okay, so I left you waiting for that answer that I wanted to give you earlier about how I kind of just have this build that stops. And I'm gonna play the last part of the song, the very, very end, so that you can hear exactly what I'm talking about. So I could have taken this a lot of ways. I could have had a build that explodes and has this like sort of like a reverb kind of like let off, but I decided to completely cut all reverb. The only reverb I think I left in there would have been from the high wind chimes, but that's just about it. The relationship that this album was about kind of just ended, and I knew that was gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen early, probably from the very beginning of the moment that I thought about writing this album. And just the fact that it kind of ends shows how little everything mattered in the first place, you know? It also reminds you of the past, because you experience all these sounds that just completely go away, and then you're left thinking, what did I just listen to, you know? Hopefully in a good way. Hopefully it's not like, what did I just listen to? No. This album was a very deep emotional journey for me, and this song just shows, you know, I don't know what it shows, you know, it's that unending struggle. In the end, I'm so much better of a person than I was when I started this album. It's not just how I understand myself or how my music improved. It's how I'm not the only one who goes through things like this, you know? And believe it or not, there are 15 to 20% of us that are empaths. Apparently, that's a statistic, I guess. But here in the near future, especially on tomorrow's video, which I am doing another video tomorrow, don't think that I'm done yet. I'm not done yet. Tomorrow my album releases. I am so making a video tomorrow, and it's gonna be great. But even though I write all this music in hopes of solving my problems, I know it won't, you know? It's never going to. And there might not be anything on this planet that will solve the problems that I've made for myself, I'd say. So if I need to write music just to make myself comfortable with who I am and to make myself be who I want to be, then that's how it's gonna be, yeah. You've heard it time and time again, you know, it's a consistent emotional struggle, and I even grow when I do these videos. Like, I'll say things that I completely rethink and think, man, that doesn't really make sense, or anything like that, and think, man, that doesn't really make sense. I should definitely rephrase it, like I just did. If you have had a gray wall in your life, then I think you know what I mean, you know? If you had something that blocks you for no reason, if there's something that is completely keeping you from progressing and helping you become a better person and have a happy relationship, whatever it may be, you know what the gray wall is. And you know how even something, it can mean so much to you and nothing to someone else. In fact, you having this wall could destroy your relationship. And I don't think there's a good reason for it, you know? I think we all need to understand that there are going to be walls. And if we throw away everything we have whenever a wall appears, we'll never progress. That's gray wall. And that's wall. Thank you for checking out these videos. Again, turn that like button blue, turn that subscribe button gray. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. And I hope you're excited as I am for this album's release. See you then.